sure look. It'll be grand.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a stellar new episode of Sure It'll Be Grand, the podcast where it'll be stellar. We'll be all right. Don't worry about it. We'll get through the day.
All right.
But this
I
is
do not vouch for this man, folks.
I vouch for myself, and that's all that matters at this moment in time. And this week, if you're tuning in, we're doing our very first listener request. A big deal for us.
It is a big deal because people responded to us.
People, yeah, well, that was nice. So we got the request came in from Ricky. So shout out to Ricky. This one's for you. I truly, I'm not sure if he wanted us to cover this movie because he loves it or because he doesn't love it.
Yeah, because we debated this for a while. Like, we're going to be honest either way, but we're just like, really hope not to dunk on.
I'm just gonna come straight out. This movie is a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, it is.
It's garbage, and it's New Mutants, which is actually to give it its full title, The New Mutants.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware. I thought it was just New Mutants, but we're doing the New Mutants, and it's terrible, and I hope that doesn't not align with Ricky's thoughts, but sure, look.
But look, if it does, Ricky, you're very free to go into the comments and call us two Egypts because that's what the show is about.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are the final authorities on this, but
naturally, but
to argue with us. So
we have to give a little leeway. Thornton State.
Let's tee it up a little then. So the New Mutants, in case anybody was living under a rock for a few years and hadn't heard about it, is it's a comic book movie based on the X-Men in the world of the X-Men Fox franchise. Rest in peace to the X-Men Fox franchise.
There was a part of me that really hoped you would say it's a comic book movie based on comics.
It's one of those comic book movies that's based on a novel.
Yes. Yes. Or, one of those comic book movies based on the stage play.
Yes, I think that this was a Broadway musical that I think that they turned into.
Wouldn't you watch an X-Men Broadway musical?
If it was anything like the Spider-Man musical that Bono made like 10 years ago or whenever that was, then yeah, probably I would.
Wasn't Michael Jackson involved in that as well?
I think he was supposed to do something with the music or something. I don't know. Didn't he get shut down because it was too dangerous?
Yeah, I think someone got injured or something. Here, we're talking about far more interesting things. New Mutants.
Yeah, okay, so The New Mutants, I'll speed through it. Directed by Josh Boone, written by Josh Boone and Nate Lee. Based, of course, on The New Mutants, comics by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod over at Marvel. Starring Maisie Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Heaton, Alice Braga, Blue Hunt, and Henry Zaga. Produced, of course, by Marvel Entertainment for 20th Century Studios, no longer Fox.
Yes, which I mentioned when we were watching them. And, did they change the logo? But yes, because after 20th Century Fox doesn't exist anymore. Okay.
After the Disney takeover of the world, Fox no longer exists. Well, that branch of Fox no longer exists. Fox News, unfortunately, is still around.
See, I would have thought they would have just kept it intact and just like had as an umbrella sort of thing. But never mind.
They don't want any. That's I have Disney on it in very large writing all over everywhere.
Yeah.
I think I will. Sorry, excuse me if my voice sounds a bit off. I'm slightly under the weather at the moment.
And I'm just me.
Yeah. But all right, let's dive in. Let's figure out. Let's see what the hell is going on here.
Tell me what the hell is going on?
Plot details of The New Mutants.
Well, look, we get a really unique Native American tale given to us at the very beginning of this movie.
No, we don't.
Very unique.
Shut up.
Have you ever heard it before?
Shut up, all right? We don't. It's awful. It's not even, they took, like, whoever, Josh Boone is one of those people who bought, like, a poster in a CD shop when he was 10, and it was one of those, like, there's two wolves inside of you. One is full of fucking fear, and the other fella is sound. And he just was like, oh, wouldn't that be great as a story for mutants? But what if they were bears instead of wolves? And what if I twisted it so it doesn't make sense anymore? And he was like, oh, cool, I'll use that for New Mutants.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically. And that's that's the opening scenes of the movie, is somebody explaining to us a shitty poster from 20 years ago.
To be fair, a shitty poster that has come up in so many movies and TV shows as this deep philosophical thing, and it is in a way, a sincere thing. But like, it's been used so much now; it's just a cliche.
Yeah, it might have been the very first. Whoever used it first was probably like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. We're onto something here." And now everybody's like, "Yeah, there's animals inside your brain and they eat things."
Yes, that's the summation of this.
That's the gist of it, essentially.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we followed, I believe, the character called Danny.
Danny Moonstar, yes.
Which is a fantastic name, really. I love it.
Mm.
And we see her. She's on. I think it's a reservation.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
Cheyenne reservation.
There we go. And something's attacking. It's going haywire. Her dad drags her out of the house, and they hide in the forest. And her dad hides away in this nook of a tree. And let's just say it doesn't go well for old Daddykins. And she gets dragged away to what looks like an asylum.
Yeah, big time. It's it's an asylum. She wakes up like strapped to a gurney and doesn't know where she is, and a doctor comes in and is like, "Listen, you're in an asylum," and she takes it fairly well, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty fair.
She's just like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, your one's like, oh yeah, everybody you ever knew died in that tornado, and your dad is dead, and you're in an institute now because we think you're a mutant."
But here's the thing, Owen, at what time period would you put it in, watching it so far?
Like 1980.
1980, yeah. Maybe late 70s, 1980s. Yeah. What time period is it actually in?
Apparently, according to Josh Boone, it is actually set in 2023.
Yeah. This is the moment when I realized that, I think there was trouble behind the scenes on what they wanted to make here.
Oh, they didn't have a clue what they were doing. I mean, a lot of it, I mean, maybe they did. I think the director had an idea and he was going making something. And then X-Men Apocalypse came out, and that's the biggest load of shite ever.
Oh, God, it's awful.
They were like, oh, okay, so everybody hates Apocalypse. Let's maybe move away from that. Because I think Professor X and Storm, was it maybe?
I think they were involved in this at one stage.
I'm not sure if they were actually supposed to be in it, but they were definitely supposed to be like mentioned or something. It was maybe it was going to be like at the end, they'd be like, oh, they'd show up and be like, here, we're here to save you. Come to a real school to learn to be real mutants. Or
the thing is, we do get references in this where they, talk about how the mutants were heroes, and they'll eventually become heroes, because that's what we know really, really well about the X-Men franchise, that most people consider them heroes, right?
Well, yeah, that's the overarching theme of all of the X-Men movies, is that everybody,
they're really beloved.
Yeah, everybody loves mutants and thinks they're sound. It's all okay.
Yeah. It's like, like when someone becomes a mutant in the family, it's a celebration. That's usually how it goes. They don't get dragged off to a weird asylum and like tested for their powers.
No, they're all completely fine, and none of them have any issues, like self issues with the fact that they are mutants. They're all just like, yeah, whatever, bro, I'm a mutant.
Yeah,
I'm
like
cool.
It's really good transfer. Like
automatically means I'm a superhero now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, even if you could just turn into a dog or something, imagine that. Whew.
Well, yeah, that's the next part. So Danny then attends her first like group therapy session, I suppose it is, with the rest of the like prisoners of the asylum.
That's the thing. Have you ever seen a group therapy session in any movie where they just didn't dig into each other immediately? Like, it's just a shit show every single time?
No, I mean, it's an easy way to just instantly
Tension.
develop tension and like tell you a little bit about some of the characters because
Yeah.
they'll just start shouting.
Instead, we're
at
just
each
like,
other,
oh, that was
it's-
lovely. Okay, lads,
Yeah.
everyone go back. Talk to you there.
We usually joined the group therapy session, and like all the rest of them have been in therapy for so long that they're just fine now. They're just
Yeah.
they've been there for years working on themselves, and they're all like, yeah, I'm okay.
You know, even when it starts getting like a little bit heated, no, look, we know it's that just our emotions coming out. It's okay.
yeah,
Look, we appreciate you. You're welcome to the circle, you know?
yeah, and everybody's welcoming, and they're all fine, and Mr. Sinister
you-
is not involved at all, and it's okay.
Yeah, you might not notice, but this is very heavy sarcasm. It doesn't go really well.
fucking Right, okay, so she meets the rest of the crew here, the rest of the New Mutants, who
Yeah.
are Rain Sinclair,
Yeah.
Ilyana Rasputin,
Yeah.
Sam Guthrie, and Roberto da Costa.
Yeah. Roberto da Costa is a character you can almost instantly forget really for the rest of the movie. He doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he's really kind of just shafted by everybody else, I think.
Yeah.
This movie
pretty
does
much.
one of those things where it tries to introduce a whole bunch of people at once and give them all like enough backstory and like development that they're like Danny's the sort of the main character. She's the protagonist at least.
Yeah, she is. No, she is.
But like
Very much. It's following her story, like.
yeah, but it tries to give the rest of them like, oh, here's a flashback to what happened to this guy, and here's this person's
Yeah.
backstory, and here's their powers and whatever. And it's like,
And you know that extends to about 2.5 characters,
except-
wise, and the rest are like, oh, and they do something.
Roberto is just like there for a while.
I think he's meant to be like the rich jock type, and so obviously this movie has to like dunk on him a little bit. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean it's said Sam, Charlie Heaton's character, says at one point that his family are like the richest family in Brazil or something. Now,
yeah, that's
this
it.
kid, he doesn't sound Brazilian at all.
No,
By the way, he's just fucking American.
yeah, he
I don't
very
think
much
he even
is American.
speaks Portuguese once in the whole movie. I don't
Yeah.
think that ever happens. But these,
No.
to give them their comic names, would be Wolfsbane, Magic, Cannonball, and Sunspot,
Huh?
respectively. And
Okay.
Danny Moonstar's comic X-Man name is Mirage.
All right. I mean, okay, those are names.
Those are all names, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think the movie sort of expects you to know who these people are.
I mean the here. Okay, so again, we kind of said this before. Like, we're not massive into the comic lore of superheroes and that kind of stuff. It's just not our wheelhouse. We both have read comics and enjoyed quite a few of them, but we're not like mad into. We don't keep up issue to issue. But I wonder, like, if people who have read about these characters, are them? Is the movie like a good representation of them? Is like a very fine. Oh yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah,
I
I
Rain,
don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, they don't ever like none of them are ever called by their like hero names in the movie, except for one incredible moment where I don't know, a bunch of random the Silence from Doctor Who shows up to
They do,
attack
yes.
everybody, and Anya Taylor-Joy's Ilyana says, I'm gonna go kill them, and somebody says, you can't fight them, they're magic, and she literally stops, turns and looks down the camera and says, so am I. And I didn't realize when I first saw this when it came out in the cinema, and I thought that was the funniest line I'd ever heard because it made no
Yeah.
sense to me. I didn't realize till watching it a second time that Magic is her character's comic book name. So
Is it now funnier
Well,
than it was before? Because I
it's-
feel like it would be funnier.
it's stupider somehow.
yeah.
But like, I get that now that was supposed to be like haha, I get it because she's called Magic, but like,
References.
but it doesn't make any sense. Nobody calls
Yeah.
her that in the movie. Like, it's not like they're the X-Men and they're like they've picked code names or something for themselves. She's just like, yeah, so am I. It's like implied that she calls herself Magic in her head or something. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Okay, so we have the young teenage to early 20s, I guess. I'm not sure the age they're aiming for here, but there is another important character, which is Dr. Reyes, played by Alice Braga.
Yes, yeah, she's the villain.
Kinda like a little bit sympathetic as well because she has powers herself.
She is a mutant who can
Yeah,
create force fields.
yeah,
I guess she's created one around the entire like facility so that nobody can leave, which is, I mean, first red flag. I'm not sure. It's kind of, it's half implied towards the beginning that all of these kids think that, like, they're being told that if they complete their therapy and stuff here, then they get sent on to another facility where they'll be trained or whatever. And so it's
yeah,
implied that, like, if they do okay here and sort themselves out, then they get to go to the X Mansion and, like,
yeah.
save your
Or at least
school
that's
for-
kind of promised to them in a sort of way,
It's never explicitly said,
Yeah.
but it's implied to them that that's where they're gonna go if they're
because that's where heroes go. And
yeah,
blah,
that
blah,
kind
blah,
of
and all
shit.
this,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I rambled a bit there, and I've forgotten what my point was. But Ray,
To be honest, so did the movie. So you're a-okay.
yes, Dr. Reyes is like she's the only one in there with them. Like,
Yeah, there's no security
there's,
people.
there's no
one.
staff. There's like what, 6 kids, 5 kids
Yeah,
with mutant powers, and 1 doctor who also has mutant powers.
maybe they thought just like, oh, they just bring in like non-mutants, they'd just be fucking killed in a second.
Yeah, but I
Ye-
mean, surely
Must
they
be other.
do need somebody else there, like even just a groundskeeper or something. would have, like, added
Because the
something.
moment the thing is, like, the whole movie starts, they start getting into action when she falls asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes to sleep, and then all the kids are like, "Yeah, we're gonna have our breakfast club moment now, and we're gonna
Yeah.
like sneak around the." I was about to call it a mansion. It's not. It's a massive facility, and we see 1 building.
Yeah,
2. Sorry, we do see the church.
we do see.
I
the church,
apologize.
yeah.
We see the church, and we see like the building they live in and sleep in and eat in and watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer in for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, lesbian awakenings, that kind of stuff.
It's so. It actually makes it worse now that the movie's not set in like 1989 or whatever when Buffy was on TV. So
Yeah.
it's not even. Sorry. So there's a scene where Rain Sinclair, who's Maisie Williams' werewolf character, she
Who's very much in love with Danny Moonstar.
yeah. I mean they're doing the do. They're kind of
Well,
they're into each other.
Yeah, very much into
And
each other,
Rain
yeah.
is she's sitting on the floor in the, I don't know, I guess it's like the rec room or something, watching an episode of Buffy where Buffy and what's her name, Dan? Because I don't know, don't watch Buffy.
Oh God.
You're one
Oh,
you're
it's-
one from the American Pie movies. Are watching
Yeah.
are like shifting.
Willow.
They're like shifting, and that's it. She's just watching that scene, and we thought
It's
maybe-
not Buffy shifting with Willow.
is it?
It's Willow's girlfriend, I think.
Willow wasn't gone out with Buffy.
No.
Oh, that's okay. Well, Buffy.
I mean,
anyway.
maybe there was a season or something I don't know about, but no.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's Buffy. Anyway.
Oh, we're gonna do a Buffy review.
Suck on that one. We're not doing a Buffy review. We're not watching that crap. But it's that scene. It's like, we thought at the time, oh, maybe that was a big deal because that's maybe the first like instance of lesbian love, like overtly on in like a big TV show or something.
Yeah.
But then you figure that the movie's set in like 2023, so did they just have a random? It's not a modern TV, right?
It's a really old TV.
It's
like a
an
TV
old-
that probably wouldn't work in 2024.
and I'm almost certain it's a VHS player that she's watching on.
It must be like, yeah.
So
yeah.
did she just have a random VHS episode of Buffy? Did she tape this herself?
Like, is there just like a review of like on Gold TV on Sky, where we're gonna show Buffy now for the next 5 years on repeat. Whoa. Is it something
Yeah,
like
I don't
that?
know. Is it like Dave, the channel Dave on Sky?
Yeah,
they got the rights to
exactly.
Buffy, so they just show like 6 episodes of the
Buffy a day, every
Buffy
day.
and then 6 episodes of Top Gear back to back, and that's it. That's
Oh,
all they show
God.
now. This one's for the ladies, and this one's for the dudes.
The two genders. Is
The two
that
genders:
it?
Top Gear and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot like that going. Again, it's this weird thing that they didn't know which time they were really filming us in, and we were like, I think we were both convinced until a long way into the movie that this was like the 80s until we
Yeah.
saw someone on the smartphone.
What made me look it up in the end was when like Roberto has a smartphone in it. He's just like he's looking at pictures of his girlfriend on a phone, and I actually went back and was like, is that actually a smartphone, or does he just have like a really fancy digital camera that maybe he could have gotten in 1990 or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a smartphone that he's a kid. He's a 17-year-old kid with mutant abilities in an insane asylum, and they're letting him have his phone.
Yes.
'Cause-
Which I assume is probably, I don't know, maybe that force field keeps radio transmissions out as well, which maybe that explains why they're
Maybe.
watching radio television, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't explain that either. All their like security systems are like old, and they've got old ass cameras watching everything. And she sits in a room with like 100 televisions, watching them all and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's you can tell that they changed when it was set. Like halfway through the movie, they were like, "Oh shit, well,
absolutely,
it's not set in the 80s anymore."
Yeah,
but I mean,
so anyway, we see a bit of a relationship growing between Raina and Danny. You know, I think that's kind of probably one of the core story plots that are going on, if there is a story plot.
It's the two main relationships in this movie are Rain and Danny being in love, and Ileana being racist towards Danny.
Yes, there's a lot of weird racism. Yeah,
there's a lot of.
I suppose. Yeah, go on.
There's just it's so weird that she's introduced that way. Like I get, okay, she's a bit of a bitch. Like, wow, okay, who cares? She's like crazy. But did they really have to make her a racist for some reason?
Yeah, the whole Pocahontas thing and all that kind of stuff. Like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, she just spends the first like 45 minutes of the movie making fun of Danny for being a Native American, and it's kind of like, I mean, was that needed?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's meant to be the bitch character. And again, if this was set in the 80s, I'd almost accept it more, because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, a little bit more racist back then, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's like if you heard anyone nowadays, like, or in the next 4 years, start saying Pocahontas to a Native American person, you go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Nobody's getting away with that. Like,
yeah.
It's so weird, and she's Russian as well, so I don't know where like.
You know, the Russians are historically well known being racist towards Native Americans.
Russians famously hate the Cheyenne tribe.
Like, if there's one thing worse than American, it's a Native American.
Yeah, that's they double down on it.
But yeah, so you know, the whole plot eventually is about them trying to break out. And you know, the Dr. Reyes takes Danny, and like eventually Dr. Reyes kind of goes, you know, sometimes a kindness is putting down an animal so it doesn't suffer, and because that's what she sees. Danny
well, here's the thing: the plot, it's not. They're not actually. They just kind of they escape by the end, purely by chance.
Yeah,
they're not trying to escape. Like they're not. It's not like they're planning a breakout or anything.
Yeah,
it's just that Danny's powers are going mental.
Yeah,
and it inadvertently leads to a giant demon bear killing the doctor and freeing everybody from the force field. And then they're just like, "Oh, cool, let's just leave now." They just walk off.
Yeah. Also, I mean, there's a whole bunch of like visions, like the Smiling Man, which is apparently voiced by Marilyn Manson. Owen and I were talking about this before. We don't really remember when those Smiling Men spoke.
Yeah, I don't remember him speaking or saying anything. I thought he just made a weird noise, like a dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, maybe that's Marilyn Manson, you know?
Or The Grudge. Maybe Marilyn
Manson
did that.
Famously, Marilyn Manson just making dinosaur noise.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably has before in his spare time. He seems like a guy who pretends to be a dinosaur.
Yeah, actually, you could imagine him in one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes, just walking around making dinosaur noises. I can, actually, 100% I can. You know?
It's exactly the image I had in my head. Yeah, there's Marilyn Manson in his inflatable T-Rex costume again. Famous for it.
Old Mary. Yeah. So the movie's very straightforward. It's all about accepting our inner demons and controlling them and feeding the good in us.
Yeah.
It's the same blah 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 motives and themes that happen in these X-Men movies quite a lot. You know, how many times have we watched an X-Men movie where there was someone who didn't like their powers, but by the end of the movie they use that powers to save the day and accept themselves. You know, it's a nice tale, but again, like this movie, The New Mutants, there was ironically not much new about it.
No, there wasn't really. I think maybe the only difference is that Danny, she doesn't hate her mutant abilities because she doesn't know what they are. Like nobody knows what her power is until like the end of the movie. For some reason, I think it's Ilyana is just decides she's causing all of this to happen. I don't know what she's basing that accusation on, but she just decides she's right, to be fair to her, but she just says, "Oh, Danny's doing all this. She's crazy." So Dr. Ray is like, "Well, just gonna have to murder this kid again." Oh well.
Here's a bit of a ramble, right? So Danny's whole power thing manifests itself into a giant bear, right? And this is probably due to her dad telling her a story of the two bears inside you and the conflict and all that. And I've always assumed that on the reservation, not the plantation, Jesus, on the reservation, the giant attack was by her psychic bear thing, right? I assumed that was the case. So did her father instill this dangerous concept into her? Like her father telling the story about the bears caused all this trouble?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
right.
she like she says, she explains it as like, oh, when I was a kid, I was afraid of everything, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was afraid of the dark and all this crap.
Yeah.
So her dad told her this fucking parable or whatever of like, oh, but he twisted it somehow. He just told her there's a giant bear inside you, and it eats all your fears and gets really big. And if you're afraid of things, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so now the kid was just fucking terrified of this bear.
Yeah. And then he does add, oh, but don't ever forget the small bear inside you too. Ooh.
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
They try to have a moment at the end with her and her dad, and it's just falls flat in its arse. Like
it was a very much of a Man of Steel moment where, where Superman meets his dad on like a mountaintop talking away. He was like, okay,
don't start on Man of Steel.
All right. I'm just saying, you know. Am I wrong?
Man of Steel is better than this crap. Okay.
I mean, it is. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, Ray. In case you did like this movie, sorry.
Okay. So one thing that we talked about this when we were watching it is right. So we'll go through their powers. Danny can bring people's fears into existence. They like
including her own,
physically become real. Yeah.
Yes.
Magic, that's Ilyana, can teleport.
She's Colossus' sister, by the way.
She is supposed to be Colossus' sister. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's actually supposed to be in this movie, but in the comics, the character is Colossus' little sister.
Yeah, because we see her arm turn into steel as well and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, she like, she can teleport. She can travel to another dimension. She can summon a soul sword. She can like put armor on herself, and she
has a pet dragon.
She has a little puppet that turns into a real dragon somehow in the movie. Now none of this is explained, but apparently in the comics she's actually like a mutant / sorcerer. So she actually uses magic to do all this stuff.
Because we were joking about that. I was like, how does mutation work like this?
It made no sense if she was just a mutant, but apparently she's not. The movie just never tells you that, because again, they're just like, you know who she is. Come on.
And 99% of people are going,
no,
I just thought it was an X-Men movie. What's going on?
Yeah. And then you have like Sam Guthrie, Cannonball. He can like turn into a cannonball.
Yeah.
Right. And then Roberto, Sunspot, can like, he's the Human Torch basically. Apparently in the comics he can actually manipulate solar energy, but in this he's the Human Torch. He lights himself on fire.
Yeah.
It's kind of it. right?
Oh, like that Tiki monster at the end of Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Oh, your
Yeah,
man,
remember?
the flame
Yeah.
skull guy. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
kind of similar.
you said Tiki monster, and my brain went to Moana for some reason.
Yes. I
Yeah,
love that movie.
like the
Moana and Suicide
giant
Squad.
Tiki monster at the end of Moana. Exactly like that. And then you have
Yes.
right, and then you have Rain, aka Wolfsbane, who
Mhm.
can turn into a dog.
Yeah. This one we had fun with because like imagine tomorrow we all started getting powers, like your friends starting getting powers, and like, you know, one of your friends can fly, one of them can read minds or shoot like psychic bullets, and then you can turn into a dog.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you now look, if nobody else could do anything and I could turn into a dog,
Be awesome.
that'd be pretty awesome. But if
Yeah.
you're standing next to like Professor Xavier or some shit, like,
for an interview or something, like, okay, so what powers do you have?
oh well, I'm not getting this job. I can turn into a dog.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
okay.
How
Like
d-
a
how,
psychic dog? No.
no. And does the dog version of you have more powers? No, it's just a dog.
Yeah.
How do
it could be a
you-
wolf, I
Yeah.
guess.
How
It's
do
kinda
you, as a dog, expect to fight Apocalypse? Well,
Yeah.
don't really. I know. Just like,
Yeah.
is there something? Now, I looked up some of this to see just some of like the stupidest powers that mutants have had in the X-Men series. Some of them are so weird. There's a guy called, now this is like Wolfsbane but way worse. There's a guy called Beak who it just like is a non-flying bird basically.
Oh.
He looks like a vulture, and he's got like a beak and like feathers and like clawed hands and stuff, but he's no wings, can't fly.
That's disappointing.
How much would that suck? Like, that's just
Yeah.
terrible. There's a guy called Wraith who can turn his skin invisible. Just his skin.
Just his skin. So
Just his skin.
organs are still.
Yeah, his organs and
visible.
his skeleton and his hair, everything else is still there. He can just
I
turn his,
suppose it's
his
a good way
skin
to like,
invisible.
maybe give people heart attacks. You know.
I don't know. It's just a really odd one. Like,
Yeah.
let me see. Oh, this one is just weird. There's a guy called El Guapo, who is like psychically bonded to a sentient skateboard. And
Like,
if
When
he
you say skateboard, are you know, being a little bit?
no, it's an actual skateboard.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
literal skateboard, and the skateboard is like apparently hates him and keeps like beating him up. But if they're ever like separated for too long, this
They
El
die.
Guapo kid will die. And then eventually, apparently, he lost his legs in an explosion, and they became friends. So now he uses the skateboard in place of his legs.
Hey, why didn't we get that movie?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Do you know?
I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
absolutely.
many, but definitely there's worse one. Now, Marvel actually made a comic run called The Worst X-Man Ever about this guy. And
No,
his name
this
is
is the blob thing.
no, his name is
No.
Bailey Hoskins. Sometimes called Exceptional, right?
Oh no,
And
I hate it already.
His mutant ability is
Come on.
that he can blow himself up once.
And reform?
no,
Oh, once.
once.
Oh,
He can do it once.
Here's a question: how do they know?
I just about asked the same question. I don't know. How do you figure that out?
Like, did a time traveling who's the guy from the future that keeps coming back? He was in the Deadpool movie.
Forge? No, Forge is the other guy. Ah, whatever. Who cares?
Cable.
Cable. Yeah.
Cable. Is it just Cable came back? Right? Yeah. Don't do that. You'll be dead. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's-
See you later, lads.
I don't know how they did figure it out, but apparently he's in like a load of comics. He was in the New Mutants. He was in X-Force. He's in Beta Flight. He's in the X-Men. He's in X-Factor.
So what's his fucking point? He's just a
Nothing.
normal fucking guy
Yeah,
most
that's
of the
thing.
time.
He's just a normal dude who runs around with the X-Men, and like I guess every once in a while the comics will be like, now it's time for Bailey Hoskins' heroic moment, and he'll like
And then someone stops him.
blow himself up to save the team.
Oh
or something.
God.
I don't even know if it's like a big detonation, if it's like a nuclear blast, or if he just goes pop and there's just crap.
Just organs and
Yeah,
all over.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But he has officially been given by Marvel the title of worst X-Man ever.
By Marvel.
Yeah, they made a whole run in the of comics called Worst X-Man Ever, Bailey Hoskins.
Oh wow, okay.
So there you go.
It's not a great ability. You
No,
know?
not a great ability. Not at all. But that's enough of that random nonsense. We are moving straight into our Jaysus moment now.
Oh God.
If I can press the right button on this. Okay, we did it. Jaysus moment.
Oh.
I think I've already said mine, so you can go first.
Oh God, why did you do this to me? Well, I mean, the big Jaysus moment is more like an ever dripping moment of what time is this movie set in? It's like Jesus, what's actually going on? As for a real Jaysus moment, to be honest, I don't think there's much of an Jaysus moment in this movie for me. I thought the priest scene was a little bit severe.
I know what your Jaysus moment was. I remember it clearly.
Oh, okay.
It's when Maisie Williams flies out of the fucking duct and lands on the doctor's head.
Oh, that's right.
Surely, because I remember
you
your reaction to that just being a fit of laughter going, what the fuck was that?
Oh, yeah. Do you know why? Because it was basically, oh, Jesus, we don't have Wolverine anymore.
Yeah,
you know what we'll do? We'll
yeah.
dress Maisie Williams up as Wolverine, basically. Go, off you go, lass.
We'll put some fake nails and some fluffy ears on Maisie Williams.
And just her face like a gremlin creature.
She doesn't sound vicious at all.
Yeah, that's my Jaysus moment. Oh God, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, I knew it because I was expecting it to be that because I remember how you reacted when we were watching it.
Yeah, it was just so fucking funny. I guess that's my Jaysus moment.
Yeah.
Again, there's not much in this movie because a lot of times it's just them sitting around dour, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will say to give the movie a small bit of praise, I don't think the acting is bad. For the most part.
No, it's all right. It's Maisie Williams at her top end acting abilities, which all right.
Yeah, her accent is just odd and sounds really weird. Like it's clearly.
I was just saying, acting in general is just fairly.
I don't know. I think it was the accent for me. It's just so blatantly, obviously, she's doing an odd fake Scottish accent, and it just sounds weird. And
hey, Maisie, you're British. You can do a Scottish accent, right? Yeah,
of course.
Sure,
of course I can. I can do anything. I was in Game of Thrones, you idiot. I can do what I want. I don't know. My Jaysus moment, I mentioned it already, so I won't go over it again. It's definitely you can't fight them, they're magic, so am I moment, because it's so hideously stupid that I just couldn't get over it. I actually bust myself laughing when I saw that the first time in the cinema. So
oh God,
definitely that one. Okay, Jaysus moments completed. Let's give this thing our final thoughts.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Final thoughts on the New Mutants.
So this is kind of the final X-Men universe movie.
Thank God.
And it's like, when you have a balloon and you deflate the air, there's a little bit of air left and it's all wrinkly and you squeeze and just a fart noise at the end.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
That's this movie. It's not a last hurrah. It's more like a whiny, like it's just, I mean, look, I don't want to hate on because there's probably someone who really liked the change in direction, but I don't think there was enough. Like, sure, there was a change in direction, what normal X-Men movies are, but they didn't do much with it.
I'll say this: it's not the worst X-Men movie.
No, it's not. Jesus Christ, no.
Not by a long shot.
No,
to be honest,
it's a lot better than a lot of X-Men movies. Actually,
it's better. Are we gonna rank the X-Men movies?
No, that's fun. We'll do an episode on that. Actually, I'd love to do an episode on ranking the X-Men movies.
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we'll save that for later. But I will say the New Mutants is not the worst of them.
No.
It's definitely not the best, but it's not the
in
worst.
a universe where Wolverine exists, like the movie.
Also not the worst, but we're straying too far from the path. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
this movie's crap.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess. It was clear from the get-go when Disney bought Fox, and then we're immediately like, Jesus, we can't release this thing. No. And it got delayed like for 3 years or something.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, fuck. So,
again, it's one of those movies that I think could have done well as a TV show. If you actually had room to like build the
Yeah, I think-
characters up and
yeah.
the personalities, like it even was like a 6 episode thing, because it has a little bit of what's that crazy and DC TV show you mentioned when we were watching this?
Doom Patrol?
Doom Patrol has a little bit of flavor of that. It's not anyway as good as Doom Patrol or like even less wacky, but there's a little similar DNA going on there. Like,
Yeah, it's. I think we said this at the start. It feels like a pilot for a TV show as well most of the time. Like
yeah,
everything that's
it
going
looks
on
like
in
it
it
too.
It's kind of like, oh, this is a CW pilot for something. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah.
show us this 40-minute thing, and then the network will be like, all right, yeah, cool, make some more. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know why that Robbie guy blows up, or I don't know, something. I want to figure out why Ilyana can do all the things she can do. So
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you have rotating cast coming in. I think the basis works there for something, but it just as a movie it falls flat on its arse. Like, I don't really care for any of the characters that much. None are really like sticking out to me,
no, they're not. Yeah, that's what I mean. The actors are fine. They're all doing a semi decent job. I think it's really
Yeah.
interesting that the sequel to The Queen's Gambit went this way. I think it's crazy
You know-
that at some point, what's her face from The Queen's Gambit like joined the Russians and became a Russian superhuman. That's weird, but
What I wonder, I know we kind of get the Doctor, but what if we had a more senior actor, like a really good quality senior actor, to kind of pull the movie together a bit, like an Ian McKellen sort of actor? I think maybe there would have been something more to it, but as it was, the performance was just kind of like improv inside an asylum. That's kind of what it felt to me for a lot of the time.
yeah, I don't know. I think it gets some points for effort for me.
Yeah.
Especially initially, they tried to do things a little bit differently, but then it kind of all falls apart when they go for the usual like superhero punch the big monster ending type thing. But whatever, it's a pile of shit, and I had fun talking shit about it.
Yeah. It was a good time. Thanks, Ricky, for a recommendation. Sorry if we didn't kind of go along your expectations. Or hey, yeah, we went along with your expectations. Either or.
Yeah, insert appropriate
Yeah.
response here.
Yeah, exactly. But no, look, honestly, folks, if you recommend a movie to us, we'll more than likely do it, and we'll enjoy it, and we like the interaction with you, and
Yeah.
that's it pretty much for me.
What's our next episode, Daniel?
Oh, you'll like this. It's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie.
Ooh, the 1990, 1980 something.
1992, I believe it is. I'm not 100%
hell.
sure on that, but yes, we're doing that.
Go ninja, go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
It's a great movie. Obviously we both like it, but I'd like to see what we think of it with adult eyes.
I'm pretty sure I watched it a few years ago. But anyway,
Yeah.
and we will be back this Friday for episode 3 of our WandaVision series. So this is
Ooh, it's been a good time. I've been enjoying WandaVision.
this is a full Marvel-y themed week, I guess, that we've ended up doing with.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have it in reverse. By the time this comes out, episode 3, the second episode of our WandaVision series will be released.
Yes.
Because
So enjoy it retrospectively.
please listen in the past to our episode of WandaVision.
Yeah. And we've been enjoying doing that. The first 2 episodes have been great fun, and it's our first ongoing series for like the same sort of franchise, so that's good.
And that is it from us for another episode of Sure It'll Be Grand. As always, please get in touch via Facebook or Twitter with
Yeah.
requests, comments, notes, praise, anything.
Yeah, folks, like and share as much as you feel this podcast is worthy. It helps us a huge amount. Even like we today, someone retweeted us, and suddenly we got an influx of listeners, which is fantastic. So anything really helps us.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's us. Have a good one, folks, and we'll see you next time.
Asherlo.